If you think that when you think of Halloween, the only thing you think about is getting your costume ready, and if you're an adult, thinking about getting your costume ready to hand out candy to trick or treaters and not worrying about anything except for maybe a couple of teenagers egging your house, then you would like the case of Eric Copler. If you want to know more about this case, please continue watching.
You are watching Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV.
Before November 1st, 2004, Napa, California was known for its temperate weather, gorgeous scenery, plethora of local vineyards, and quality of life for its residents, which included being a very safe community. Despite the many tourists who flocked from other parts of California as well as throughout the United States and Europe, crime was not a common occurrence. In fact, Napa had not seen a homicide in over 20 years as of Halloween 2004 rolled around. On that last day of October, roommates Eric, Adrian Enzana, Leslie Mezzara, and Lauren Menzana spent the evening handing out candy to trick-or-treaters that rang the bell at their doorstep. By 11, the lights were out and all three turned in, Adrian and Leslie to their upstairs bedrooms and Lauren to her downstairs bedroom. All would be quiet until around 2 a.m. At that time, Lauren was awakened by the sound of breaking glass and what she would describe as blood curdling screams. Terrified, she curiously crept from her bed to head upstairs to investigate. She stopped when she heard the sound of heavy footsteps coming down the stairs toward her. Terrified, she ran out of the back door and into the yard where she hid perfectly still. She would hear the sounds of someone climbing out of the basement window, running off into the night before she would regain her courage and re-enter the house. She climbed down the stairs and hearing crying coming from Adrian's room, headed that way. She never could have been prepared for what sight met her. Leslie face down in a pool of blood. Adrian was crouching down behind the bed, still alive but bleeding heavily. There was so much blood in the room that Lauren slipped. She tried to call 911 on the house phone, but the line was dead. She retrieved her mobile phone and called for help while running out to her own car, driving away. She was petrified that the person who attacked her roommates was still in the house or the area. Paramedics arrived on Dorset Street quickly. Leslie was dead. Adrian would die very soon after the paramedics' arrival. Both of them had been stabbed many times. Lauren had not seen anyone, although she heard the attacks. The local authorities began their investigation. They combed the crime scene and found cigarette butts outside the home. As neither Lauren, Leslie, nor Adrian smoked, they believed the attacker had lay in wait. biding his time and smoking before entering the home on his murderous errand. Now, I think this is kind of really strange that she heard all of this commotion, but she ran out of the house, hid behind a bush, and waited till the attacks were over. And then she re entered the house, but she said that after she saw that her one of her friends was face down in a pool of blood and the other one was bleeding heavily, she grabbed her keys and ran out of the house and got in the car and called for help. Now, I don't blame her because people do have the fight or flight response in certain situations and people tend to flee as she did. I'm not blaming her for this, but why didn't she just decide to instead of hiding behind a bush, go ahead and flee to the neighbor's house? Because it's not like she didn't have time while she was listening to the attacks happen. Why didn't she just flee to a neighbor's house and, ask for help? Because I'm pretty sure someone would have opened the door for her, hearing her scream for help. Why did she re-enter the house? These are the questions that I have, even though many people might say that she did the best that she could in the situation, which I agree. But I think once she was outside, she should have kept continue running and ran to neighbors' houses. But that's just my opinion in this situation. Now, as far as that piece of scum, Eric Copler, he, is just not even a human to me at this point. He is something on the bottom of my shoe because because you watched and waited. So you basically watched these women's routines and waited to kill them. I mean, you could have robbed them and at least left them alive, but no, you decided to kill them and then run off like the scared little piece of garbage that you are. And I hope that he gets everything that is given to him in prison while he's there, because he's never admitted to why he killed them or his motives. He just admitted to committing these crimes, which is even worse because you won't even give the family a reason as to why you did it. Although there is no reason as to why you killed these three women in this case, because it's not like they were hurting you. The Napa community swirled from the savage murders with rumors, and one of the most repeated rumors was that the murders were a hit because the women were supposedly involved in drugs, and all three of the women were supposed to die that night. Only two of them did because no witnesses were supposed to be left alive. But there was also another rumor that the winery where Leslie lived, she also worked there, and her boss had mob ties, and he was apparently caught up in something with them, and the women were just collateral damage that night. It is seemed that Adrian cheated death at the age of 16 after a car crash, and shortly before Halloween and months before her death, she celebrated the 10-year anniversary of her car crash in which she had cheated death. And she was working, and she was in a relationship with her boyfriend, and she wanted more of a serious committed relationship, but her boyfriend Christian Lee wasn't ready, and they got into an argument because she had went and met with a guy, and this was some guy that made her boyfriend jealous. And I believe that this could be the reason for her being attacked and you know which led to her death. And he probably used this guy to do it. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.